great privilege of having had breakfast with Colette Pichon Battle, an old friend, an amazing warrior for climate and racial justice. And we've just been catching up.
Yeah.
And you just said to me that we are ready to build something new.
Ready.
What does that mean?
Well, first of all, beautiful day in New York. Thank you for meeting with me. And we just commemorated 20 years since Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
And this has been one of those moments where we say, now what? Right? When after the storm happened, they said it's going to take 20 years for this area to rebuild itself, and we're at 20.
Yeah.
So now what? And I think this is a moment in the U.S., this is a moment in the South, this is a moment in the world where we really got to build something new. And what is that? What could that be? It's got to be beautiful and better and authentic and delicious. And I think we have the desire, the hunger for that really wonderful thing to come.
Can you give us an example of one of the new things you've built 20 years out from Katrina that maybe wouldn't have been possible without Katrina?
Ooh, yeah. It's been interesting to really think about the role of people, the role of institutions, and also the role of dollars. And one of the things that would not have been possible without Katrina or without the BP oil drilling disaster are the community control funds that we've built at the community level, where you're really putting not just power, but a democratic process back into the hands of the people to distribute their own resources, which some might say are either owed or was theirs in the first place, right? So there's a little bit of redemption and repair, but there's also this new practice of democracy. We have to agree on where we spend the money, right? It's not yours, it's not mine, it's ours, and we pretty much want the same thing. You want to raise your family, I want to raise my family, we want to be safe. How do we spend our resources to create that? We've replicated the community control fund now about 7 times. We've gotten 15 million to the ground in 3 years using these funds, and the community is controlling where those dollars go. Just with Katrina 20, the community raised $1 million for itself and decided where all that money was going to go. And this is a process. It looks like it's about money, but mostly it's about democracy. And I think we would not have been able to practice democracy had we not gone through a complete breakdown of all of our institutions.
Yeah, exactly. So what's a couple examples of things that were funded, that were made possible through this community funding model?
Yeah, I mean, so don't tell anyone, but I'm a lawyer too. And of course, when I come up with like my brilliant ideas for the world, I think they're right, and I think they're what we should do. The community, on the other hand, does not always agree. And I remember the first community control fund, some of the first dollars went to homeschool. And it was a homeschool, and they gave a couple $1,000s to this person, and I was like, we don't want to fund like a communications campaign and like take down the terrible people. Well, it turns out that investment that happened about 4 years before COVID turned out to be a critical investment when schools went down, but the essential workers in places like New Orleans were service workers. That was so right. So the moms, the dads had to go back to work, the kids were home, and was there anybody ready to do any kind of homeschooling? Turns out the community had already invested in it, and that's where I had to say, they know what they need, and they know what they want. This is not a problem of like people being ignorant. This is a problem of people not having access to democratic processes and to self-determination. That's been the joy, the work, the labor of these last 20 years for me, is really getting people back to self-determination.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Colette's in town for Climate Week. A lot happening this week. And you've shared with me some big plans you have coming up in the future. So stay tuned. Keep an eye on Colette Pichon Battle.
Ashe.
Just an amazing human being.
Ashe, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much.